I think I
Oh,
got it.
yeah. What's up,
Yeah.
dude? Wait, how'd you do that?
Uh, I had to hit the bottom left on my iPhone.
Uh,
It's just like now it says mute. I can do unmute.
okay, cool, awesome. Cool, dude. What's up? How you doing?
I'm good, dude. Yeah, it took me a minute to figure out how to use this.
Oh, cool. Well, you did it. Yeah, I'm still like figuring it all out too.
Have you used this before you started these podcasts?
Not like this. Like I've edited Zoom meetings, but I never actually used the Zoom app until like now. So it's pretty cool. My first Zoom meeting was actually with Plan Your Escape with the guys in my band. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, nice. I watched the podcast with you and who was it? It was you and I think J-
James,
yeah, James, and then
Zach also.
it wasn't everybody from the band, but like it
Yeah.
was some people from the band, and then Zach came in, and then it was cool because like I never knew the story of how you guys all met, and that's cool. Like I guess James was in like theater or something with Josh, like that was just really cool. Like
Yeah, they're both like theater cats. Like this the cool, interesting like roots. Like yeah.
whoa, yeah. And then like you guys were all in different bands back in the day, and you guys all had like idolized each other.
Yeah, dude, they were my favorite band. Like I literally like became friends and like joined my favorite band, like this group of talented musicians. But dude, you can shred too. I remember like I once you guys played at like Chris's house in his backyard or something with I think Austin was
Oh
in your band
yeah,
too. What was that band called?
for the Kingdom.
For the Kingdom.
No, we played with Plan Your Escape. It was like some summer festival for Rock City.
Oh, was that like outside?
No, it
No.
was like Rock City Studios did like a 2 day thing. It was like I remember the flyer. It was like a sunset, and they had like a ton of bands on it. It was like 2 days long,
Oh,
and
cool.
we got on it last minute. I don't even think our band was like on the flyer, but yeah, it was really fun. We played a couple shows. It was me, Austin, Luke, and Chris was our vocalist. Chris was a really good screamer.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I remember you guys. You guys were like super tight, like super like you guys had like the technical skills down. Like that was super tight. At least from what I can remember.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time just like rehearsing and stuff. I like we all really wanted to be super tight and like like with the local shows, just like local bands. I think a lot of times they're not that tight.
Yeah, sometimes.
so
Feel you.
so it's like when you have a band that's really well rehearsed, I think that it's just so enjoyable. It's not a lot of like feedback, and there's not a lot of so that's like what we just like really wanted to give our best product, the same way that like I guess if you were going to start any business, you'd want to deliver a good product to customers.
Heck yeah, dude.
That was a lot of fun, man. I miss being in a band.
Yeah. Are you still playing music?
A little bit here and there, yeah. I wrote some acoustic songs lately, and I did like an open mic night.
Oh, cool.
It's
How
fun.
how did that go?
It went really well. There's like only one place in my town that has music, and it's called Astro Tap. I've been there once, so I'm living in Castle Rock, Colorado these days. I'm in a basement. You can see the window behind me. Like,
Oh, you're in a basement?
yeah,
Whoa.
see that?
Yeah.
Like, there's the sky. So I'm in one of those like, yeah. All the houses out here have basements, I guess, because it's kind of close to tornado country,
Oh,
but we're not like really in tornado country, but we're close enough to be like required basements.
dang, dude.
So
What's it like living underground?
cold
Oh.
during the summer, yeah, like it's like 78 degrees outside, but it's like 65 degrees in the basement. And then in the winter when it's like 20 degrees outside, it's still 65 degrees in the basement.
Wow.
It's like because we you got the earth, like the earth either keeps you warm if it's cold, like, or like if it's really hot out, the earth keeps you cool, I guess.
That's the trip. Earth is like the insulation.
Yeah. It's like, I guess a long time ago, people used to like store things in the cellar because you didn't need to air condition it.
Oh,
Yeah.
so now
It
we
kind of
got,
like stays
yeah,
that perfect temperature,
cool,
of
dude.
like not too cold, but like also like it'll keep you cool in the summer and it'll keep you kind of warm in the winter.
Yeah, I think like basements would be like a kind of sketch over here in California with like earthquakes and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for real.
What
Hold
kind
on,
of
can I try
books?
this way?
Oh, it's all
There it
good.
is.
What kind of books do you have right there behind you?
Oh, so I just found this one. This is my tea,
Yeah,
but I just found this one.
what's
So
that?
I haven't even read it yet. Let's see. It says, can I like flip the camera around on this?
Yeah, I think so.
There it is. So it's like this old like hardcover. It's like falling apart. And I think it says there's some writing there.
Whoa. Oh yeah.
To to Lorraine, which is my mom. To Lorraine with love, um, Margaret. So that's my mom's sister. So I guess
Yeah.
so
Wow.
it's Grimm's fairy tales,
Oh
which
dang.
are like some old school fairy tales. You got the Frog King, Cinderella. You got all these, all like each one of these is its own fairy tale. They're like
Yeah.
little short fairy tales,
Some of them are starred. Are those were those like your mom's favorites or something?
something like that. You got like the 12 brothers down here.
The 12
I wonder,
Brothers.
I wonder if that's like symbolic of the zodiac,
Oh.
maybe. I like symbolism, like how like stories usually have all kinds of symbolism that isn't necessarily evident right away, but if you
Yeah.
kind of like read it and think about it, there's like this one here is called the Seven Ravens. Seven is like a really symbolic number, like
Yeah,
religiously.
the 12 could also be the 12 tribes of Israel from like the Bible, like in Genesis.
Oh
That's pretty,
yeah.
yeah, dude.
Well, I've heard that those are also symbolic of the zodiac too, like the
Oh,
signs.
really?
Yeah. Well,
Whoa.
I mean, I take everything with the grain of salt.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know exactly like what's what, but yeah, there's symbolism. There's cross connections between the signs and the 12 tribes of Israel, and
That's interesting. I want to look into that. You want to like find a fun little excerpt from that book?
yeah, I'm looking like some of them are like longer or shorter. Let's see which one like a short one. So there's like a couple page one that'd be cool. We can like read it. Oh, this one's 3 pages long. The Seven Ravens. Oh, look at that.
I'm down.
The writing's pretty big too, so it's probably be quick. It's got little illustrations.
Oh, cool.
The Seven Ravens.
Yeah, can you show the illustrations while you read it?
It's like,
Oh, okay. I don't know. Okay,
is
never
it
mind.
backwards?
I couldn't tell actually. It was kind of small. Never mind. Do it whatever you can. All right. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay. One, two,
Yeah,
three, four, five, six, seven. Then we got Cinderella over here with a. So it looks like some
like a gnome.
a gnome. Let's see what's going on here. There was once a man who had 7 sons. I like it already. It's like that
Wow.
show, The 7 Sons, the movie. And he still had no daughter, however much he wished for one. At length, his wife again gave him hope of a child, and when it came into the world, it was a girl. The joy was great, but the child was sickly and small and had to be privately baptized on account of its weakness. The father sent one of the boys in haste. Oh wait, so I guess he wanted a girl or something. So the girl was small, and he had to be like privately baptized because of how weak it was. Okay, so the father sent one of the boys in haste to the spring to fetch water for the baptism, and the other 6 went with him, and each of them wanted to be the first to fill it. The jug fell into the well. There they stood, and they didn't know what to do, and none of them dared to go home. And still they didn't return. The father grew impatient and said, "They've certainly forgotten it, and for some game, those wicked boys." He became afraid that the girl would have to die without being baptized, and in his anger he cried, "I wish the boys were all turned into ravens."
Whoa.
Whoa. Hardly was the word spoken before he heard a whirring of wings over his head in the air. He looked up and saw 7 coal-black ravens flying away. The parents could not recall the curse, and however sad they were at the loss of their 7 sons, they still to some extent comforted themselves with their dear little daughter, who soon grew strong and every day became more beautiful. For a long time she did not know that she had brothers, for her parents were careful not to mention them before her. But one day she accidentally heard some people say, "The girl is certainly beautiful, but in reality she's to blame for the misfortune which has befallen her 7 brothers."
Dang.
Uh-oh. Then she was much troubled, and went to her father and mother and asked if it was true that she had brothers, and what had become of them. The parents now dared keep the secret no longer. They said what had befallen her brothers was the will of heaven, and that her birth had only been the innocent cause. So, of course, it's like parents fucked up, and then they're like, "Oh, it was God's fault. we we cursed our brothers. It was obviously the will of heaven."
Mm.
Mm. But the maiden laid it to heart daily, and thought she must deliver her brothers. She had no rest or peace until she set out secretly, and went forth into the wide world to trace her brothers and set them free, let it cost what it might. She took nothing with her but a little ring belonging to her parents as a keepsake, a loaf of bread against hunger, a little pitcher of water against thirst, and a chair as a provision against weariness.
Against what?
What? Against weariness. I just think it's funny because like she's setting off on a journey, and she's bringing her ring, a loaf of bread to eat, and a little bit of water, but like she's bringing a chair with her. Like she's got like a chair on her back. I don't think they had folding chairs back in the day.
Yeah, that's a funny picture. Like,
Now she went continually onwards, far and far to the end of the world. And she came to the sun, but it was too hot and terrible, and devoured little children. Hastily she ran away, and ran to the moon, but it was far too cold, and also awful and malicious. And when it saw the child, it said, I smell the flesh of men." On this she ran swiftly away, and came to the stars, which were kind and good to her, and each of them sat on its own particular little chair. But the morning star rose, and gave her a drumstick of chicken, and said, "If you had not had that drumstick, you cannot open the glass mountain, and in the glass mountain are your brothers." So the maiden took the drumstick, wrapped it carefully in cloth, and went onwards again until she came to Glass Mountain. The door was shut, and she thought she would take out the drumstick. Oh, the door was shut, and she thought she would take out the drumstick. But when she undid the cloth, it was empty, and she had lost the good star's present. What was she to do now? She wished to rescue her brothers, and had no key to enter the glass mountain. The good sister took a knife, cut off one of her little fingers, and put it in the door, and succeeding in opening it. When she had gone inside, a little dwarf, oh, that was the little gnome guy. When she had gone inside, the little dwarf came to meet her, who said, "My child, what are you looking for?" "I'm looking for my brothers, the 7 ravens," she replied. And the dwarf said, "The Lord ravens are not at home, but if you will wait here until they come, step in." Thereupon the little dwarf carried the ravens' dinner in, on 7 little plates and in 7 glasses. And the little sister ate a morsel from each plate, and from each little glass she took a sip. But in the last little glass she dropped the ring which she had brought away with her. Suddenly she heard a whirring of wings and rushed through the air. Oh, a whirring of wings and rushing through the air. And then the little dwarf said, Now the ravens are flying home. Then they came and wanted to eat and drink and looked for their little plates and glasses, and then said one after the other, "Who has eaten something off of my plate? Who has drunk out of my little glass?" It was a human mouth. And when the seventh came to the bottom of the glass, the ring rolled against his mouth, and he looked at it and saw that it was a ring that belonged to his father and mother, and said, "God grant that our sister may be here, and then we shall be free." When the maiden who was standing behind the door watching heard that wish, she came forth. And on all this, the ravens were restored to their human form again, and they embraced and kissed each other and went joyfully home. The end.
Wow. Dang, dude, she ran to the moon.
Yeah. And then the moon said that it smelled human flesh.
Wow. Hey, thanks for reading. That was really awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. It's like I haven't read out loud since school.
Wow.
So
I enjoyed it. What do you make of all that?
it's interesting. I think that stories like this are supposed to teach a moral usually, right? So like, I mean, the parents were like super sad that they, you know, they didn't have a daughter, and then finally they have a daughter on their eighth time having a kid, but like she's super weak, so like they send the brothers to go like take care, but then like the brothers like screw up and just like have an accident and drop the pail, and then they curse them, and it's like they kind of hide it from like their daughter their whole life, and then she finds out and she like leaves, and I don't know. I get like vibes of like maybe like don't lie to your kids.
Yeah, I feel that.
Like, oh, you don't have any brothers. Like, oh, it's the will of heaven. Like, we didn't curse them or anything.
Hmm. That's a trip, dude. Yeah,
What
I
about
like that
you?
moral.
What did you remember about it?
Oh, dude, it was pretty like interesting how it was like but like realistic up to a certain point, you know what I mean? Like these things could happen in real life until like the curse happened. And then after the curse, like that's when all like the supernatural stuff started happening, like them turning into ravens and then like flying to the moon or running to the moon.
Running to the moon, running to the sun first, then running to the moon, and then running to the stars. Dude, what did you think about the? So it was said that like the morning star is the one that gave her the drumstick, and the morning
Oh.
star told her that the drumstick would get her into the glass castle, and when she got there she looked in her little pouch and it had disappeared.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds like super significant, the morning star.
Yeah, I know that's like pretty common in like pagan and like Judeo-Christian literature.
Yeah, I
I
want to
think
Google that real quick.
I think that the morning star has been used to talk about like Lucifer,
Yeah, I think so
I want
too.
to say.
Yeah, that's one of yeah. It's Lucifer is the Latin name for the planet Venus in its
Yeah,
morning.
yeah.
So maybe she got the drumstick from Venus.
And it's interesting that like the morning star told her that, you know, this drumstick's going to get you there. And then like when she got there the drumstick disappeared and she had to cut off her finger.
Whoa, yeah,
So it's
dude.
like it lied to her.
Yeah, some deception there.
And it even like it gave her something like really yummy. Like she obviously took a loaf of bread just to eat. It's like when this was written it was probably like old school times, and like I think these are German fairy tales. So like I guess like back in like the early 1900s or late 1800s they were going through a lot of trouble there. Like my history isn't spot on, but you know they had that whole deal going on there. Like before, way before World War II, you know, way before Hitler's time. But they had like famines over there. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I feel
Like
you. Yeah, that's like the vibe that it's getting. Like a loaf of bread is like valuable.
yeah, and then like the Morning Star gives her like this yummy chicken drumstick, and it's like, oh, this is gonna like save your brothers,
Hmm.
and then it just disappears, and
Yeah.
it reminds me of like that like show. I don't know if you've seen Full Metal Alchemist,
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
where it's like equivalent exchange. They like try to gain knowledge and they lose their arm or something.
Yeah.
So like she had to cut off her finger. It's
Right.
like she like trusted this like supernatural star creature thing that was like, oh, like I'm gonna give you all the answers, and then she ends up losing her finger
Hmm. And
for the
then
knowledge to save her brothers.
yeah, and then like she was like sickly when she was born, and then like she got like healthier when like she got older. So like I don't know, maybe somehow like that health was like I don't know, like not like sacrificed in a way. I don't know. Maybe it's
Huh.
like you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not sure. Dang, dude.
Yeah, this is just like there's got like so many in here. So
Cool.
I just got this like the other day. Like
Yeah.
my mom dug it up from her collection.
That's
I don't
awesome.
know. I don't know what I was asking about it. I asked her about this book in specific because I remember it from when I was a kid. She would read it to me,
Oh. Oh wow.
and yeah. So like I think like last week I asked her if she had seen this book, and just a couple of days ago it was on the table. And then so yeah, let's
Wow.
see what else I got here. I
Yeah.
got some
I dig your sweater, by the way.
oh, me too, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
It's kind of torn, like, but I love it. It's these cool like the style of like printing on it, like these fancy schmancy psychedelic.
Yeah.
So I got this Shout. It's the Beatles book. Got some like self-help books, just like
Heck
ask and
yeah.
it's given. It's like Law of Attraction. Got some like healthy spirituality. I got this one, 100 Deadly Skills
Whoa.
to like learn how to hotwire a car and whatnot.
Oh good.
I got these books here actually from Zach
Yeah.
before I
Shouts out
moved.
Zach. Oh yeah, wasn't I
And
there when he gave them to you?
yeah, I got the Harry Potter books.
Yeah. Book of Virtues.
I don't know what this is. It's called. It was a glare. It's called "Let's Fix the Kids." It's
Wow.
probably because I gave my parents so much shit when I was a kid. They needed to get a book on how to fix me. Do you think it worked?
I don't know, dude. Maybe we'll never be fixed.
Oh, it's insightful.
That's cool. Thanks for taking us through your bookshelf.
Yeah.
How did you get into self-help stuff?
Um. I mean, my first experience with self-help was probably, I guess, the Bible.
Yeah.
Um.
What do you mean by that?
So like a little bit. So when I was like 17, I
Yeah.
got in a fight with my pops, and like we really quarreled pretty hardcore, and ended up getting in like a pretty big fight. And my mom called the cops. Everybody was
Whoa.
fine. Everyone was fine. There was no like real bad injury or anything. It was more of like a verbal altercation. And anyways, they came, and I was just kind of like, okay, like I'm calmed down. Like we're not we're good. I think my mom was just worried. You know, it's she's the only woman in our family, so we weren't like throwing punches or anything like that. It was just like a really loud fight. Um, so she called the cops. She was worried, and they came. And um, I had I had been growing some marijuana in my backyard, and like they were okay with it. And like basically like I don't know what happened. Like I was like, like this is fine. We're not gonna fight anymore. Like, and then one of them, like I think it was my mom or my dad, was like, oh, like, well, why don't you go in the backyard and look at what he's been doing? So I ended up like getting some charges for that. Like,
Oh dang.
yeah, which is a little screwed up, man. Like, I ended up going to spend a little bit of time in the clink, as they call it.
Yeah,
and
wow.
so my brother actually sent me a Bible, and like I started reading it because like I was just in there with a bunch of people who were a lot more I don't know what you would call it. Like I want to be careful with my words here,
Okay.
just because like I think that everybody is worthy of love and respect to a degree, and I think that there's a saying that hurt people, right? Like
Yeah.
bullies. It's like they go home and their parents bully them or whatever. So like I was just in there with people who I guess I was really scared, and so I would just like read the Bible, and like that faith and like something greater than the circumstances really stood out to me, and started to pray a lot, and from there I ended up kind of like getting out of there and ended up reading a little bit more, just some self-help books. So, and my dad actually reads a lot of self-help books too, so I've gotten a lot of them from my dad. Some of these are probably my dad's. Let's see. Well, I don't think I have any of them here, but I know my dad has given me How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Oh, cool.
Um,
Zach was talking about that I was on his podcast and he brought up that book.
yeah, it's really cool. It helped me a lot with like customer service and like dealing with people in like a professional way.
Yeah. That's cool.
Um,
So,
Another one is
yeah.
like Think and Grow Rich. I read
Heck yeah,
Rich
dude.
Dad Poor Dad, and my dad was in the network marketing circuit for a little bit, so yeah, they do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, a bunch of like self-development. So,
Yeah,
dang, dude, you had like a really big like transformation, you know what I mean? Like that's I mean, I'm grateful that like you're here on this path now. Like that's a lot of wisdom on your bookshelf and up in your brain, you know what I'm saying?
thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's been quite a journey. Like so after that, I got out and I went to like this little Utah place. It was like a
Hello, Utah place.
little Utah place. It was a treatment center, man. It was a treatment center for like kids who like have problems. But to be completely honest, man, like I met a lot of friends there, and like I asked them like, "What are you here for?"
Yeah.
And like
You're laughing.
they're like they're like what was this kid's name? His name was like Chris, and he was there because like he was drinking energy drinks in secret.
Oh
and his,
no.
and his parents just hated it. He had like never tried drugs in his life, and like he, he just like yeah, he like
Dude,
watched a little too much MTV or something.
I used to be addicted to those like bad.
Dude, I drank a lot of energy drinks too. Like,
Yeah.
how many did you drink?
I used to have like one or two every day.
Yeah, dude, I would have like one every day at high school, like the big cans of Monster with the screw off
Yeah,
top.
dude.
I would just down it.
Dang.
Yeah,
But
man,
so
it's crazy.
you made friends at the little Utah place.
The little Utah place, the LUP, little Utah place, the LUP. No, it's yeah. So I hung out there. There were a lot of people there. Like one kid like was like watching MTV, and like there were some kids there that were like violent, like bullying people, and there were some kids there who had some drug problems. But like there were a lot of people there who like they were just kind of doing normal things that kids do, but their parents were very like old fashioned and strict, and like actually they have like a lot of relapses. A lot of those programs, those youth treatment facilities get shut down because like the kids come out like way worse than they were. Like they got some parents who like they think everything, like they think Pokemon is satanic and they think all this stuff, and like they find out that their son is like wearing some like Chucks, and they're like, oh my gosh, he's like satanic because he wears like Converse, and those are like I saw Avril Lavigne wearing Converse. Like, oh no, like our son
There's like
is.
a pentagram on them or something, like a star on that circle.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, like a lot of the kids end up running away.
Whoa,
Um,
dang, dude.
yeah, and they like because I mean, you think about it, like you're 16, 17, like you're developing a sense of who you are. Like you might not be an adult yet, but I mean, I remember being like 14 years old and like I like had an idea of what I believed in. Like I remember in my middle school, like there were like I look at middle schoolers now as an adult and I'm like, these are like little kids. But I remember my middle school, like there were kids talking about like George Bush and like the war and like oil and like I think that a lot of times adults can discredit children and think like, oh, this is just a kid, like what do they know? But I think it really started for me around like sixth grade is when I started to really hear conversations about like just global events. Maybe not on like a really sophisticated level, but yeah, I mean, how old are you in sixth grade? What is that? Like 11?
12, 11, yeah.
Yeah, and like you're like a little like 5 foot tall little munchkin, you know. To everybody else, you look like you're just playing around, but that's I think that's like kind of when you start to. Well, it's interesting that the Jews they have the bar mitzvah at age 13, right?
Oh, I wouldn't know. That sounds right. Yeah.
I I think it's age 13, and that's like you're celebrating becoming a man. So I think they
Yeah.
recognized that a little bit better than we recognize it.
Wow. That's a really good connection. Yeah,
So,
dude.
anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, yeah. Anyways, like where was I going?
Like some kids like run away and like
Sorry.
around that age, that's when we're like
Oh yeah,
developing
yeah.
our sense of yeah.
So they would run away, and like they're like, okay, like I disagree with my family. Like they sent me here because I chose to like drink some energy drinks or like ride a skateboard, and they just run away and they disappear. They like get emancipated. So a lot of these places end up getting shut down. Like there's only so much you can do to like a human with free will. You know?
So how did you like what was your experience like there? Like do you feel like it benefited you? Like did you use it in your favor or
The past year or so of my life being in Colorado, there's a lot in my life that I used to really be upset about, but I'm starting to change my perspective and think that like I am grateful for everything that happened.
wow.
Um,
Yeah,
like
dude, the present changes the past.
it's a good way of putting it. Oh, I like the Plan Your Escape song Perspectives too. It's like
Yeah.
what
It's
what is
just
it?
perspectives.
Is perspectives. Um,
I think
yeah,
I
like
know what it means.
the chorus though. The chorus is like now I see my life as more than a mess or something. From a place of worship or no, what is it?
Oh dang,
Place
dude, I
of,
don't know.
but it's like,
It's like,
and
yeah.
I'm grateful for it, and like that's like a really cool thing. Is like,
Let me look up the lyrics. I don't even know the lyrics to our own song.
but yeah, like it's like the present moment of how you like interpret the past is is like changes the past.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what my friend Aaron told me. Like when you as you gather information, like now, it like changes your perspective, the way you look at the past.
perspectives, perspective.
Yeah, here we go. It's just perspectives. It's just perspectives. Let's look for the goodness in the darkest of times. Now I see my life more than just a mess. It's a place of worship, and I'm thankful for it. Dang, dude, you know the lyrics better than I do.
That's the relevant lyrics, especially for like right now what everyone's going through.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. Yeah, it's really important to be like thankful and like consider yourself as like a sacred space.
what do you mean by consider yourself a sacred space? Like,
Like
do you like
yeah.
elaborate on that?
Yeah, dude, like we all have like a some sacred energy up inside of us, you know what I mean? Like we're all like aligned with the divine in some way, maybe like some more than others, but there's that like source within all of us, that light within everybody. So like when you at least like I believe that when you like bring awareness to that and like cherish it, then like you start to treat yourself a little differently. You start to treat everybody else a little differently. Like, oh, I recognize like the light in this person, like, and it, you know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
Namaste.
Namaste, dude. Like, yeah.
What I think it means the light in me recognizes the light in you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all got the potential for like being a little passive aggressive, or like we got those bad days, and I think it's easy for us to kind of like focus on that sometimes, and like alienate people, scapegoat them, and be like, oh, this is like a bad person, this is a good person, like. But like if I'm having a bad day and you've never met me, and I like pop into your life at a gas station, and I like maybe say something to you, it's like you could just be like, oh, that's just a mean person, but like it could just be like that one day I was having a bad day.
Yeah, dude. It's important like not to take things personal. Like you don't know like what that other person may be going through in their life. Like I think that's
Yeah,
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I learned a lot about that working at customer service the past 2 years, since I've been at Starbucks.
Yeah.
It's like
What'd you learn?
yeah, well, like you get a lot of people that are pretty impatient. That like they're busy. They're like a lot of times it's like they're stopping before work, and they're like trying to get their coffee. They're like, I'm gonna make a quick stop and get my coffee, and if it's not right, they can feel like, oh, like what's wrong with you? Like I asked for this way twice, and like we made it twice, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Like there can be problems with our espresso machines that's like nothing that I can do about it really. And like sometimes I'll explain to people like, oh, like if you want, I can like recalibrate these things. It'll take me like a good like 4 or 5 minutes, but I can do it for you. And like then they'll be like, well, no, I don't want that. I just want my drink like perfect right now. It's like, like a lot of times it's easy to like get that frustration, and feel that. So like when I started working with the company, like I felt like very stressed a lot. Like generally it was like 50% of the time I'd get home and like people would ask me how my day was, and I'd be like, it was pretty awful. Like I got yelled at, I got screamed at. Like I did everything I could, and like it wasn't good enough for anybody. And then I went through a period of like wondering if I wanted to swap companies and like find a different place. And then I like kind of like realized that I do enjoy it, and it's like an opportunity for me to grow in like being at peace with myself and with other people, even though they're kind of like throwing their dirty laundry on me, I guess. Um, they're pretty cool. I mean, they're a responsible source coffee. All of their farms around the world are ethically sourced. They have like positions in the company where like you fly around and like check on the farms and make sure they're treating the workers right, and they've got running water. They're donating millions of dollars to nurses and police officers right now, and we're giving away free beverages to police officers and nurses. I mean, of course, they closed the cafes. You can't like go into a Starbucks anymore because of the whole COVID-19 situation, but they are keeping their drive-throughs open, and they're doing what they can to like be clean and sanitized.
Cool. Oh, I
Yeah.
gotta. It's. I think it's pretty awesome that you're like learning these lessons, dude. Like congratulations. Like that sounds like a lot of growth. And like, how do you hold on to your peace when like someone's throwing their dirty laundry on you?
So like I think that a part of it is I think that we're all psychic in a way. Like
Yeah.
we all like it's nothing special if you're psychic. I think it's yeah, we're all psychic.
I dig it.
I think I think that like those people, it's like we don't know what's going on, right? Like we don't know like what happened that morning. We don't know if they just had a family member pass away or went through a horrible breakup, and like I end up feeling really tense and stressful because they're telling me about their drink. In reality, I could be feeling tense and stressful because I'm picking up on their, um, that's a possibility. I'm picking up on like everything that has happened to them, and it's like not articulable. It's not like I'm just thinking like, oh, like I know definitely that this person went through a breakup. Like I don't think that's how it works. I think we just like have like psychic feeling connections. Um, I think that there hasn't been like a lot of scientific studies on it yet to like really put it into words, but I think I think that a lot of existence transcends language, and like feeling definitely transcends language. And it's like communication is only about 10% verbal, like it's like more like nonverbal and tone of voice and like musculature of your face and like body posture, and then just like overall energy, just like what your energy is. So like if I wrote down like a perfect description of something, it's only 10% accurate. If it was the most perfect articulate literary description possible, it would only be 10% accurate. um, it's interesting, I saw on your Instagram story, it was that like your book, the To Be Here Now.
No, dude, I lost my copy.
That's a cool book. I love the way it's written, like folding over on the parchment paper with like the cool font. It's super mystical.
Heck yeah, dude. Have you read that one? Be Here Now.
I haven't. It looks really cool though. I see lots of screenshots of it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's really cool. It's a different ways of thinking, and it's just like so beautifully presented. Like you said, it's kind of like how the smartphones are vertical, like like the book is vertical, like.
Yeah. Dude, it's perfect for screenshots, man.
Yeah, dude. Ramdas, right? Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Yes. Ram Dass.
Yeah, that's cool. I like everything that you're saying. Definitely, like there's a lot to communication that's like under the surface, and that's something that like I'm always working on, like trying to understand things like deeper, and also like working on like making that surface a lot better too, like because I think like that's like super useful. And then like at the same time it's like I want to like understand like the underlying, like the driving forces behind things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, dude. Seeking after like a knowledge that's more than just like profitable on like an industrial level.
Yeah, dude, like just like the way the universe works, and how like the ebb and flow of nature and like the beautiful patterns it makes.
Yeah, it's like if a genie popped into the room and was like, "Hey, like I'm a special kind of genie. I can only give you one of two things. I'm either going to give you $1 million, or I'm going to give you like 10 years of like utter total peace and bliss." And
Whoa.
it's like, like $1 million is kind of cool, but like it's like, do you want to have just like money and like buy things? Like I've never really had like a ton of money, but like I've had really cool things and I've gone on really interesting experiences through like wealthier friends of mine. And it's like that's all cool and stuff, but I think some of the best times of my life have been when I just am by myself, like on a hike with like a water bottle. Yeah,
That's
it's
true,
real talk,
dude.
man. Just
Heck
make
yeah.
sure if in your pursuit of knowledge, just find yourself at this big doorway and like a room of white nothingness and like tentacles come out of it. Just like don't give them your body parts, man. Even if they promise you like infinite knowledge.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, yeah. Like, behold, I have like the secrets of all wisdom. Like,
Give me your little pinky, like, and I'll give you this knowledge. Yeah, yeah, dude. There's like one of the like it's cool how we can like tap into that feeling of bliss, like just on a like spending some time alone, like out in nature or out just like sitting outside. Like I have one particular instance that I'm recalling right now. I'm just like, it was like I'm enjoying the summer sun, like shirtless, just like in my shorts, and I have a book next to me, and I like feel like the warm rays on my body, and I'm just like taking it all in and like enjoying all the little life around me. And I close my eyes and I just like start breathing, and it's like it's just
those
like
are the best.
bliss. Yeah, dude, that's so beautiful, and it's like that has like it's so light in my memory, if that makes sense. Like it's like yeah,
Light,
dude. Yeah,
like
like
easy to remember, or like
it makes me feel floaty.
it's beautiful,
It like
like
yeah,
like divine light.
Yeah, it's like a beautiful kind of mist, like something that's on your shirt, like that's like in somewhere wherever the memories come from. You look so happy right now.
I got bliss on my shirt, dude.
You got bliss on your shirt.
It's yeah, like for me, like I'm the same way, man. Like if like there's just like a hill by my house, it doesn't even need to be like Yosemite National Park, like or just like sitting in my backyard, like you were saying, like just getting some good sun, especially if it's like warmer here. During the winter in Colorado, it's a little tough. It's like pretty cold, pretty dark, so like when you go outside, it's you got to be really bundled up. But
Are you
man,
into yeah.
I probably could have gotten some like warmer clothing. I know this. There's like a friend of mine. He always goes out on like winter hikes, like all bundled up, and like his philosophy is just like don't let like the weather get you down. Just like go out and like explore, and it's kind of cool.
Yeah, dude, I recently like have fallen in love with like cool and cold weather. I like I'm able to work in a really like beautiful backyard. Like there's like a really beautiful view and like an infinity pool. And so like it's just like to me it's
Uh,
just like paradise like all year around. Like even when it's cold, it's just like a beautiful space to like get stuff done or just to
that
be
sounds
in
awesome.
general.
Is that like
Yeah,
your
dude.
backyard?
No, it's like the lady that I work for.
What do you do?
I make videos.
Nice. They're
Yeah.
they're they're good videos, man.
Yeah, dude.
What
Yeah.
what what other kind of videos do you do?
It's like a like training videos. So like she has like a program, like a mentoring program, and
Oh,
I
so like you like shoot videos like for companies or something and make training videos? Or?
well it's just like her company. Like she'll like record herself like teaching a certain concept and then I'll like edit it and like put it in our website or I'll put it on YouTube or make like an Instagram clip of it. So
Oh
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty freaking awesome. Like I'm so like blessed and grateful to be in this position.
Yeah, that's super awesome. That's a cool skill too. Like video editing and
Yeah.
what do you use like iMovie or like what do you use? Like Photoshop?
Oh, I use a program called ScreenFlow. Yeah, we use a squeeze ScreenFlow, and then this
Interesting.
program too, Zoom. So yeah, ScreenFlow is pretty cool. I used iMovie like back in the day, and that was a really good like platform to learn on because it's kind of limited, and it like set up the foundation for this one like ScreenFlow and just like learning programs in general. I love hearing your crunch right now. Like,
Oh, because my microphone's right here. You can
dude,
hear
yeah,
it.
it's like an ASMR in my ear.
I wish I could hear it. I want to know what it sounds like.
Maybe it'll come out in the recording.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to it again. Like that's what I sound like when I chew. I'm eating. My mom made a kale salad. I live with
Oh,
my mom. It's me and her here.
yeah.
It's kale, almonds, balsamic vinegar, and like onions.
Dang, that sounds delicious. The
Yeah, it's really
balsamic
good.
vinegar. It's so important to get leafy greens inside of us. Like that's a it like it cleanses out a lot of like metals. Like there's like a certain kind of like toxic metals or like so it like cleans that out of us and it like gives us a lot
Mm,
of vitamins and stuff. I think
yeah,
it's like the manganese, I believe it's what it's called. Or magnesium? Manganese or magnesium? One of those
I
two.
haven't
So
eaten meat in like 4 months.
whoa, why not?
So I've had a lot of friends over the years that are vegetarian and vegan, and I kind of just wanted to try it.
Yeah.
Like I did keto a while ago, not because I need to do lose weight, but like I like to try things to like understand. Like I've done keto. I did keto for like 2 months, and like I like understand. I can relate with people who are going through keto, and like really I did this so that I could understand and relate with people who are vegans and like what they eat and like the choices and um, like needing to like be like oh like I can't eat that because there's cheese on it or like whatever it is like it's a very different way of living because there's so much stuff that if you don't hold any restrictions over yourself, like you kind of like take for granted how much comfort you have.
Yeah, that's true. I did
Um,
I did a Daniel fast, which is like only vegetables, basically like vegetarian. And it was an interesting challenge, like not having any caffeine or sugar. So that was like what the like I had like withdrawal symptoms from the caffeine. So, but it
so
was
you couldn't
yeah,
have caffeine or sugar, or like what
right.
else was it?
Yeah, like it was just I was only eating vegetables basically, like vegetables and water.
Whoa,
Yeah,
whoa, that's tough.
yeah, dude. It was pretty like it was pretty cool. Like, it was like a certain kind of discipline that I developed, and it like I did it for like spiritual growth as well as to like just like cleanse my body physically. So overall, it was a really positive experience.
Yeah, I bet you felt really good subjectively, like
Yeah,
without having all that processed stuff in you. Like there's so much weird stuff in our food these days.
there's
um
yeah, weird stuff.
benzoate, potassium sorbate, calcium propionate, which is like antifungal foot powder. Like Gold Bond foot powder to put on athlete's foot is calcium propionate, and that stuff kills everything in your gut.
Whoa, and that's
Uh,
like in
my
some of our food.
Yeah, it's been in our food for a while. I remember my dad would tell me stories about his dad, who I never met. My grandpa died when my dad was 17, but he's a renowned surgeon. He's like, you could go into places in like Canada and like northern states, like near like Minnesota and like Illinois, and people still know like Dr. Epstein. Uh, like he
Wow.
was a really well-renowned person. He would go like if you didn't have enough money and you were sick, he would just be like, "You guys have chickens? Like, let me get some eggs and I'll give you guys the medicine." Like he just wanted to save people's lives. Like he was a traveling doctor. He would go and heal people. And my dad said that he remembers walking into grocery stores and like his dad would take like loaves of bread off the shelf and read them and like out loud in the middle of the aisle for everybody to hear, and everybody knew him. He was like the town doctor. He would say like, what the heck, like why is there anti-foot fungal powder in this bread, calcium propionate? And like all the
Wow.
grocery store workers would be like, what are you talking about? Like because they didn't want him to like lose business for them. But he would always tell my dad that like the food industry has been partnering up with the drug industries, which had been partnering up with the just like all kinds of industries, and trying to essentially trying to make people sick so that like the food would make you sick, and then the drug companies would profit off of it, and they'd keep you alive for a really long time, like never curing you, but like also not really killing you, just like keeping you sick and weak so that you'd have to take their drugs. My dad said he remembers my doctor or my grandpa. He had like friends in like really like high places. Like my dad swears that he probably had friends in like the mafia because he'd meet with people at like fancy restaurants and like the back booths, and they all had like the briefcases and like talked about all these serious things. And yeah, and then like he would always say the same stuff. It's like the stuff that they're putting in food is going to kill us. It's going to make us all uh, impaired cognitive function. And
Yeah, dude, it's such it makes such a difference. Like your diet, just eating like real food, like food that was like grown in the ground and not, you know what I mean, like not processed or not frozen. Dude, you look so zenned out right now.
good, I am zenned out. Check this out, man.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's my, I got a natural soy candle, and I got my salt crystal lamp.
Heck yeah. It's beautiful. Vibes are right.
Eating kale.
Are you into incense?
I haven't gotten into incense. No, not yet.
I
I've
enjoy, yeah.
I've heard that some of it. I haven't researched it enough, but I heard that it's not the greatest thing to burn. Like this
Mm.
candle, for example, is a like a soy wax candle. There's no paraffin or anything like that in it. If you get just like regular like cheap candles from Target, they're pretty toxic.
Whoa.
So before I do anything, I want to make sure that it's like natural and like not a bunch of chemicals in it. And probably like cheaper incense probably has like chemicals that burn in the air. It's like, but I do like burning sage. I guess that's a type of incense. So I got like the bundles of sage leaves.
Heck yeah. You like
Yeah.
smudge your space?
Yeah, I'm not like too into smudging, but I've done it before. And it's definitely a good scent, and I think that smoke. I don't think that smoke is really the bad thing. I think it's more like I think it got associated with cigarettes because like cigarettes have like cyanide and formaldehyde and all kinds of ridiculous stuff in them to like prolong their shelf life so that like they could maximize their profits. But I mean, like smoke burning, as long as you're not just like in a room filled with just like horrendous amounts of hot box, it's like smoke is something that keeps mosquitoes away. And, it's
Like the phrase you just said, horrendous amounts of hot box.
horrendous amounts of hot box. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. It's like if you're in like a burning building, it's obviously not good for you. But
Yeah.
I think that sitting next to a fire, you're obviously inhaling a fair amount of smoke, but I'm sure there's probably evidence out there that it's healthy to sit next to a fire. That's like a very natural and like primal thing.
Dude, one of my favorite things is the like smelling like a campfire afterwards, like just like it's in my
Oh, so
hair or
good.
like in my jacket, you know what I mean? And like the next
Mm,
day, like putting on the same jacket is just like wow, like it's like wearing the magic. Like
yeah. Like if you're driving home and like you got your windows down and like you can smell when your neighbor's just having a fire. It's like
yeah,
it's that like cedary, like smoky wood smell. It's so good.
heck yeah, dude. Yeah, it's like a thing, dude. I'm really stoked for when we're in a post-COVID world, so I can like go camping with my friends again.
I know, right? It's like all my favorite restaurants are closed and like all the malls are closed, all the venues are closed. It's nice though. Like I just like get out. I go on like some hikes.
Cool.
They can't close down the mountains. Well, I guess they have closed down some like national parks or like little state parks. I heard they closed Wildwood.
Oh, I don't
Are
know.
you still out? Are you still out in like Thousand Oaks area, Ventura area?
Yeah, I'm in Oxnard right now.
Yeah, I heard they closed down Wildwood in Thousand Oaks. It's like the place where a lot of people hike. And they also closed
Yeah.
down the mountain Mount Boney in Newbury Park, that big mountain. They
Mm,
like closed the parking lot. I mean, I'm sure you could just go like walk over there and like
yeah.
walk through the ropes, but that to me is interesting. It's like why would they close down a spot that's like out in the open where it's like fresh air, like obviously like close down a restaurant because you don't want people like breathing in the same like aluminum can. That
Yeah, I think it's like to prevent people from like just like gathering like too many people in one space is like not what we need right now. Even if like I don't know,
yeah.
even if it's like a lot of people at one park, like yeah, like we're outside like enjoying the fresh air, but it's also like there could be contaminated air there from somebody, like you know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys have a way bigger population than us out here too.
Oh, okay.
um, the population of LA last time I looked is like 11 million or something. The population of Colorado is like 6 million.
Yeah.
It's like it's just like the perspective of that. It's like one little city has like twice as many people as like our entire state.
That is trippy to think about.
Yeah, man, pollution, all those cars driving around.
Yeah, dude, I want to go somewhere where there's like how is there light pollution where you're at? Like can you see a lot of stars at night?
Yeah, stars are pretty awesome at night if it's clear.
Yeah. I want to go somewhere where there's no light pollution. 'Cause I need some of those majestic sky canvases up in my eyes.
I think the higher altitude you are, the better too, because like the atmosphere is a little thinner, so you
Oh,
kind of like see through the whatever stratosphere.
yeah. Okay. I'm gonna look
The
into that.
observatory. There's an observatory in Hawaii on top of the volcano. It's like
Yeah.
13,000 feet.
Have you been to an observatory?
The Moorpark College Observatory.
Oh yeah, there's one there, huh?
Yeah. Oh, we also did for my astronomy class. There was a extra credit if we went to that. It's the
Griffith Park.
observatory, Griffith Park. Yeah. So I went there. I actually went with Austin, and like I think like he was like dating a girl, so like he brought her. It was like me and him doing our extra credit, and like it was pretty fun. I don't remember what her name was, but like yeah. I think I might have brought someone too. It's like it's just like it's kind of funny that like we had like an extra credit assignment, and we ended up like bringing dates to it.
That's right, dude. It's beautiful.
We're just like running around like desperately trying to like get all of our check marks off.
I took astronomy at Ventura College. We did that for extra credit too. I remember. Oh, dude, I think like my girlfriend was in that class too, or like, and we or like, dang, dude, I can't remember. Maybe I brought a date to the Griffith Park Observatory for that extra credit assignment also. Makes sense.
Yeah, I think I met your, or I don't know if it was like if you like still with her. Is it the same? Are you still dating the same girl that I met with?
I'm actually single right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, who was
Yeah,
that girl
dude.
that we like went on some like hikes or something? And like I think that like she was at like a show with us. I can't remember her name. She was pretty cool.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, I keep like cool people around me.
Heck yeah.
That's important, dude. You become like who you surround yourself with.
Yeah, man. What happens if you don't surround yourself with anybody in quarantine?
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I think we also get influence from like I don't know, like the books that we read or like the people that we listen to on YouTube and stuff. Like start to become like them. Like I feel like I become like I'm kind of like my mentor whose videos I edit just because I consume so much of her content through the editing. If that makes sense.
Like, what does she do? Like, what's her story?
Yeah, her name's Janet. She's like a commercial sound mixer. So she like records sound for commercials. And she helps people like her program is like getting people into the film industry. So she like
Oh
shows
wow.
you like the business know-how and like the attitude that you should have, like what are like good practices to have and stuff like that, like how to build your like just like the strategies to get to where you want to go. Like you can do it a lot faster than what society tells you you can do.
That's a tough industry from what I've heard. The film industry.
Yeah, it's super creative and it's like highly sought after. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people want to be like making movies and like everybody wants to be like on a Netflix special or you know what I mean? Like imagine if you were one of the kids in oh dang, I'm blanking on that name with the upside down place.
Oh, Stranger Things.
Yeah, imagine if you were one of those kids.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. I'm hold on one second.
Okay.
I'm actually having a moment here.
Oh, good. You want me to keep this in here or edit it out?
Whatever. Go with what you feel, man. Creative liberty.
Thanks.
Yeah. I don't want you to get like some kind of harassment, like
Oh no,
inappropriate.
dude. No, it's all good. I dig how real you are. This has been one of the most like real, like just like super authentic podcasts so far. I really appreciate you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you too.
Appreciate.
But This is how I flush like every time, Musty.
All right. Yeah.
That's always what I do, man. Because then like
That toe
you don't
flush.
have to like touch the thing. That thing is filthy.
Ew, dude, you didn't wash your hands.
What? My dick is clean, Omar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I appreciate that. Dude, I've been getting in the habit of like washing my hands before I touch my dick.
Dude, for real. That's
Yeah.
like the realest thing. Like, because like you shake hands with people. I should wash my hands actually. You got my conscience going. But real talk, man. Like you touch a door handle to go into a public bathroom. It's like you don't know what's been on that door handle. Who's kind of hands have been there, or like you've been touching all kinds of surfaces. And before you go to the bathroom, it's like, yeah, you got sweat and whatever fluids are down there, but that's your body, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's not clean for like other people, but it's clean for you. So like actually my dad always taught me that too, like wash your hands before you go to the bathroom and after you go to the bathroom. But and yeah, just I washed my hands with the astral light of divinity.
Yeah.
That's why I don't have to worry about it.
This is awesome, dude. I dig the vibes.
Yeah, this is great, man. I appreciate you having me on the greatest podcast
Heck yeah.
for the Magmar the Podnificent.
Magmar the Pognificent. Oh, Omar the podcast. Dude, Omar the podcast.
Magnificent, great Omar.
You guys came up with a bunch of good names.
That was fun.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I want to start wrapping this up.
I mean, it's been good talk, man. Got German stories. We got a little bit of the Starbucks. What being part of that's been like. Starbucks is cool, man. Like lately, another thing I've been thinking about is like, like living a good life or living an extraordinary life.
Yeah.
Like I used to like music for me. Like I pushed a lot in it, but like something happened where I realized that a lot of me was pushing towards vanity. And like I
Whoa.
wanted to be in a band because I thought that like if I was in a band that like I would be really liked by people and like people would really respect me or something. I struggle with self-esteem a lot, and I guess that's like a good thing to close is on that. Like that's kind of why I had some things go on in my past and like family issues and stuff like that. Like I used to really struggle with self-image and self-esteem, and a long time ago when I started playing guitar, I realized that if I could play really well, people would want to listen to me and people would want to be around me. And that drive took me from where I was to like really, really pushing me. Like I would practice like several hours a day. And like, I knew that if I could get good, that I would have like validation from other people. Um, to me, like another thing that has popped into my head over the past couple months that I've been reflecting on this is like people who work out and eat healthy because they hate themselves rather than people who work out and eat healthy because they love themselves. It's like
Wow.
self-hate can be a huge driving force in a lot of people. Like thinking that you're not good enough, you're not attractive enough, you're not interesting enough, or whatever, not smart enough. And I don't know really what did it, but it's something in the last 2 or 3 years that did it for me, that I started to realize that like I have value, and I'm just like I'm a valuable person. Like I have great friends. I've got a great family, and I'm a likable person. And like it's interesting because I feel like no need
You forgot
anymore
handsome.
to like. Thanks, Omar. Yeah, and like it's like what once I realized that, it like shifted my perspective from like wanting to like improve myself so that I could like achieve like validation. And I kind of I have slowed down over the last like year or two, I guess, maybe like I spend a lot more time just relaxing and enjoying life. But like I work at Starbucks. That's like an admirable thing. Like a couple years ago, I would have felt like, oh, like I just have this shitty job. Like you know, I get paid next to minimum wage to like go like be a cog in a wheel. But my perspective of change has changed to being more like I get to be a part of a company that provides pretty awesome drinks and awesome service and awesome like opportunities and community service projects and all kinds of stuff. And I get like a bag of free coffee a week, and I get to be a part of something that trains you how to cope with chaotic stuff going on around you but keep the peace inside yourself, and how to treat people with respect and how to listen. And like sure, like maybe you could get paid a little bit more per hour, but like I'm also getting the benefit of like learning all these skills about how to interact with customers and like how to think about my emotions and stuff. And like the core mission and value statement of the company is um, Starbucks mission statement is to inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time.
Wow.
It's like they barely even mention selling coffee in there. They're trying to like inspire people and like encourage conversation. And for one thing, I mean, like working there at Starbucks, they're very cool people. Like they're very like nice and like friendly and like accepting of like your beliefs. And like there's good conversations that are had there. You know, it's like a coffee shop. And of course, it's a big corporation. It gets really really busy, and it can be understaffed at times. You know, but that's just like that's just like how it is, I guess. You know, it's just like how it is. You gotta watch the labor. You gotta like you know try to like make little cuts and save things here and there. And if they weren't doing that, then they wouldn't be able to do what they're doing right now, which is donating so much money to nurses. And they even, I don't know if you heard, but they're allowing like any barista who wants to stay home right now can stay home until May 2nd and like get paid indefinitely until this COVID thing is over. So like they're
Oh
really
wow.
being accommodating. Yeah, and it was originally till April 19th, but then like I guess things got worse or something, and they're like, okay, like we're extending it. You can still stay home till May 2nd. They might extend it again, so it's like
Dang.
if they weren't being so responsible and like pinching pennies, it's like they wouldn't be able to do that. Some of these other places that are a little bit more lenient have just shut down during this time because they don't have the reserves. Um, I'm not trying to say that it's okay to just be this like capitalist, just like taking everything you can and like stepping on everybody, but like you were saying, it's like being grateful, you know, being grateful for where you are and like seeing the silver lining always, and like always seeing the lesson that's being taught there. Um, so like, yeah, like I might not be like in some crazy, really tight band like For the Kingdom right now. And I'm not really like as pursuant as music right now, but I think that when I look at the word extraordinary, I see extraordinary.
Yeah.
So it's like I want to be really good at cleaning those bathrooms. I want to be really good at calming down my coworkers and like bearing the stress with them. I want to be really good at showing up on time. It's nothing fancy, and they're like, oh, like look at me, I showed up on time. Like it's not like I'm lifting a 1,000-pound dumbbell over my head. But I'm doing the ordinary things, and I want to just like be appreciative of them. So
Heck yeah, dude. That's like a lot of really valuable insight. Yeah, dude, you definitely are valuable. You uh how you do one thing is like how you do everything. And it's so dope to hear that you got like those standards for yourself. You know what I mean? Like you know what you're capable of, and you know that you want to do your best in all these areas. And that's really important, dude. That's like super, like, you know what I mean? Like not everybody like thinks like this. Like that's like high performance level thinking. So it's like a really that's a really important like foundation, dude.
thanks,
Proud of
man.
you. Yeah.
Thanks. It takes one to know one, Omar.
Yeah, dude, it's true. A lot of growth in both of us, and we're only gonna keep getting better too, dude. Like just overall, everywhere. Like whatever we focus on is gonna grow, and we're being prepared in ways that we don't even know. it's like it's pretty awesome.
I feel it, man.
Heck yeah, yeah, dude. I'd love to have you on again, but I gotta go. I gotta go pee now.
You don't want to film it, man?
I could if I could pick up the laptop.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Thanks for getting me on here, man. It's been good to catch up with you, and appreciate it. Great
Heck
Mar
yeah.
the podcast.
Great Mar the podcast. Omar the podcast.
Greatest
All right, Max.
podcast. Peace out.
Yeah, dude. I love you, dude. Have a great rest of your night.
You too, Omar.